People spend years trying to add new habits, new skills, new contacts, new income streams, new motivation. But almost no one talks about what you must remove. Growth doesn't only come from addition. In fact, most growth comes from subtraction. The truth is painful but simple. Your potential is not blocked by lack of talent. It is blocked by the people you keep close. Not everyone around you is meant to grow with you. Some are meant to test you. Some are meant to teach you. And some are meant to be removed from your life quietly without drama, if you want to move forward. One of the hardest lessons successful people learn is this: loyalty to the wrong people is betrayal to yourself. You can be hardworking, disciplined, intelligent, and ambitious, but if the wrong people have access to your time, your energy, and your mind, growth becomes slow, heavy, and painful. You don't notice it day by day. You notice it when years pass and nothing changes. Jack Ma once said that if you want to succeed, don't stay around people who complain about everything. Not because they're bad people, but because complaining is contagious. So is fear. So is laziness. So is low thinking. The environment you stay in rewires your standards silently.
The first type of people you must remove from your life if you want to grow are people who are committed to staying the same. These people are not necessarily negative in words, but they are negative in action. They talk about dreams but never move. They talk about plans but never execute. They talk about change but are deeply in love with comfort. They have explanations for everything and responsibility for nothing. When you stay around people who refuse to evolve, something dangerous happens. They normalize stagnation. Suddenly, not progressing feels normal. Suddenly, quitting feels justified. Suddenly, delaying feels reasonable. You start matching their pace, not consciously, but subconsciously. Humans adapt to their surroundings faster than they realize. These people often make you feel guilty for changing. The moment you become disciplined, they call you extreme. The moment you become focused, they call you obsessed. The moment you raise your standards, they say you have changed. But growth always looks like betrayal to people who benefit from your old version. They don't hate you. They fear losing access to you. Your growth reminds them of their own refusal to change. So instead of improving, they try to pull you back, not aggressively, but subtly. Jokes, doubt, sarcasm. Relax, life is short. Why are you working so hard? These sentences sound harmless, but over time, they poison ambition. You must understand this clearly. Not everyone who laughs with you wants to see you win. Some people want you comfortable because your comfort justifies their laziness. If leaving them feels uncomfortable, it's because growth always is. No one grows by being approved by everyone.
Removing these people does not mean insulting them, fighting them, or announcing separation. Growth doesn't make noise. You simply become less available. You choose environments that demand more from you. You reduce conversation depth. You allow distance to do the work words cannot. The second type of people you must remove from your life are people who constantly doubt, dismiss, or minimize your vision. These people may love you, they may care about you, they may even believe they are protecting you, but their fear becomes a ceiling over your imagination. These are the people who say things like, "Be realistic. People like us don't do things like that. It's too risky. Why don't you just do something safe?" They measure your future using their past. They judge your potential using their limitations. And slowly, if you listen long enough, you start borrowing their fear. Vision is fragile in the early stages. Big dreams need silence, not discussion. The moment you expose your plans to people with small thinking, they poke holes in it. Not because they know better, but because uncertainty scares them. And when fear speaks loud enough, you mistake it for wisdom. Jack Ma was rejected repeatedly. Imagine if he had listened to every voice telling him he wasn't smart enough, connected enough, or lucky enough. Most people don't fail because their dreams were unrealistic. They fail because they surrounded themselves with people who couldn't see beyond probability. Doubters drain energy subtly. They don't argue, they plant hesitation. You leave conversations confused instead of inspired, heavy instead of motivated. If after talking to someone you constantly feel smaller, slower, and unsure, pay attention. That feeling is not accidental. You don't need people who understand your vision. You need people who respect it, or at least don't attack it. Vision killers don't destroy your future in one sentence. They destroy it in small doubts repeated over time until you stop believing in yourself more than they doubt you. Distance here is not cruelty. It is self-preservation. Protecting your dream is respecting your future. Anyone who makes you feel foolish for dreaming big does not deserve front row access to your life. The third type of people you must remove from your life are people who drain your energy without adding value. These are emotional parasites. Every conversation is about their problems, their stress, their drama, their chaos. You listen, you advise, you support, but the exchange is never balanced. They take clarity and leave confusion. They take strength and leave fatigue. You start feeling tired without doing physical work. That's emotional exhaustion. These people normalize crisis. If nothing's wrong, they create something. They pull you into their emotional storms and use your stability to survive, while your progress slows. Energy is not unlimited. Every interaction costs something. Successful people guard their energy like money because they understand this simple truth. Where your energy goes, your life goes. If your energy is spent fixing others, there is none left to build yourself. This doesn't mean abandoning people in genuine need. It means recognizing patterns. If someone never grows, never applies advice, never takes responsibility, and always returns with the same problems, they're not stuck. They are choosing comfort in chaos.
Your job is not to save everyone. Your responsibility is to become strong enough to not drown with them. Some people need distance to realize they must stand on their own feet. Growth demands emotional discipline. You can care without carrying. You can empathize without absorbing. But if someone consistently leaves you weaker than before, they are costing you more than time. They are costing you momentum. Here is the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. As you grow, you will become lonelier before you become surrounded by the right people. This phase scares many. They run back to familiar faces just to avoid loneliness. But solitude is the bridge between old life and new life. Every level of success demands a different circle. Not bigger, different. Smaller sometimes. Quieter. More focused. You are not meant to drag everyone with you. You are meant to meet people who are already walking in the same direction. Removing these three types of people does not make you heartless. It makes you intentional. And intention is the difference between drifting through life and building something meaningful. Most people compromise their future to protect their present relationships. They don't realize they are paying the highest price possible, years of their life, for short-term emotional comfort. Growth requires courage, not the loud kind, the quiet courage to say, this connection no longer serves who I am becoming, and then acting accordingly without drama, without justification, without guilt. If your life feels stuck, look at who has access to you, not who you love, not who you grew up with. Who influences your thinking daily? Who shapes your standards? Who normalizes your behavior? Your future self is asking you to make hard decisions today so they don't have to live with regret tomorrow. This is not about becoming arrogant. It's about becoming aligned. You don't need many people, just the right ones. And sometimes, before the right ones enter, the wrong ones must leave.
Once the wrong people start leaving your life, either by your choice or by distance created naturally, something strange happens. Silence appears. At first, that silence feels uncomfortable. The constant noise, messages, opinions, advice, and emotional demands are gone. Many people panic here. They think something is wrong. They think loneliness means failure. In reality, this silence is space, and space is necessary for growth. Most people never grow because their life is too crowded. Crowded with opinions, crowded with expectations, crowded with emotional obligations. They never hear their own thoughts clearly. Once that noise disappears, you begin to recognize what matters and what never did. Here's the harsh reality. Some people only respect you when you stay small. The moment you start choosing differently, they feel threatened. Distance reveals true intentions. The people meant for your next level will celebrate your discipline, not mock it. They will encourage your focus, not distract from it. They will challenge you to rise, not beg you to stay the same. One of the most important skills you must develop after removing the wrong people is emotional detachment. Detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. It means you don't allow emotions, guilt, or history to trap you in environments that damage your future. You stop confusing familiarity with belonging.
One of the most important skills you must develop after removing the wrong people is emotional detachment. Detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. It means you don't allow emotions, guilt, or history to trap you in environments that damage your future. You stop confusing familiarity with belonging. Many people stay connected to old relationships out of obligation. We've known each other for years. They were there when I had nothing. I don't want to look selfish. But here's truth most people avoid. Gratitude does not require lifelong access. You can appreciate the past without letting it sabotage your future. Growth forces you to update relationships, just like software. Old versions may not support new systems. Holding on to them causes crashes, delays, and errors. Letting go is not betrayal, it is alignment. As your standards rise, your tolerance drops. You stop tolerating gossip, excuses, disrespect, and aimless conversations. Your time becomes intentional. Your schedule becomes guarded. You start saying no without explaining. And when you do say yes, it has meaning.
This shift confuses people who benefited from your unlimited availability. They may accuse you of changing, becoming distant, or becoming selfish. Let them talk. They were comfortable with you when you had no boundaries. Boundaries expose who was consuming you and who was respecting you. Another thing happens when you remove training people. Your self-trust returns. You think clearer. Decisions become faster. Confidence increases, not because you feel powerful, but because you are no longer constantly doubting yourself through others' opinions. You begin to notice progress, small wins, better focus, improved discipline, mental calm. Momentum builds quietly, and momentum is dangerous in the best way. Once you feel it, you no longer tolerate anything that slows it down. You'll also realize something few people admit. Many relationships survive only because neither party is growing. Growth disrupts comfort. That's why success often comes with separation. Not because success is lonely, but because it requires different alignment. Then, new people appear. They don't rush in, they arrive slowly, naturally, through shared values, ambition, and direction. These people don't demand explanations, they understand silence. They respect discipline. They don't compete with you, they build with you. This is when growth accelerates, not because you became smarter overnight, but because resistance disappeared. You are no longer dragging emotional weight. You are moving cleaner, lighter, faster. Remember this, who you keep close decides how far you go. Energy, mindset, habits, language, these are absorbed, not chosen. If you want extraordinary growth, your environment must demand it. Jack Ma didn't build success surrounded by doubters, comfort seekers, or emotional dreams. He surrounded himself with people who believed in long-term vision,
patience, and resilience. Not loud, not many, just aligned. Here is the final truth. You cannot grow and stay accessible to everyone. That's the cost no one wants to pay, but the ones who pay it live differently. Removing these 3 types of people is not about ego. It's about survival of your future self. Every year you delay these decisions, you delay your progress. Protect your time, protect your energy, protect your vision. You are not required to explain your growth to anyone who is not growing. If you're serious about becoming more, you must be brave enough to leave behind what no longer matches who you're becoming. Growth begins the moment you choose alignment over approval. If this message spoke to you, let it spread. Like it so others stuck in the wrong environments can see it. Share it with someone who feels held back. Subscribe for grounded, long-term motivation. No hype, no shortcuts. Remove what weakens you and watch how fast you rise.